Hey guys, Tony here, the life path of the GOP star Rand Paul, who ran for president during the 2016 campaign. He was the most popular Republican out there. A lot of Republicans hate Donald Trump. The retards out there put Donald Trump in power. The Republicans with principle wanted Rand Paul. Rand Paul, born on January the 7th of 1963, has a very accurate life path description for himself. So Rand Paul was born on January the 7th of 1963. He has a life path number of 9, and this reveals a lot for himself. Rand Paul, you have great compassion and idealism. He's a huge ideologue who believes in his libertarian fantasy utopia. It is simply not practical. It does not account for one thing, which is greed. If you get rid of all regulations and the minimum wage, business out there has an incentive to maximize their profits and pay as little as they can and to monopolize power. Rand Paul's Libertarian Utopia pipe dream is simply a huge fantasy, and his main weakness that is evident in his life path number is the fact that he's not very practical at all. It was Rand Paul that voted for the tax breaks for the wealthy back on December the 23rd. The main problem is that he's stubborn and he does not learn from history, and he did not know about the huge deficits that George Bush and Ronald Reagan gave us. Ronald Reagan and George Bush ran on bunk economics, say, oh, give the rich all the tax breaks and we're going to create all this growth and they're going to go pay for themselves. The Republicans never cut anything. They increase the deficit. They help out their banker pals that they borrow from the Federal Reserve. Rand Paul is not very practical. Republicans like big government. They'll keep on spending. They're not going to cut any spending. Rand Paul is responsible for this huge deficit right now because he is not practical. And he is stubborn, and he believes in a failed ideology that does not account for the human element of greed. And when left alone, it is evident in some professions, even such as accounting, that they cannot self-regulate themselves. The government had to step in after the Enron scandal, after the WorldCom scandal. It is because of cozy relationships and greed is why libertarian, laissez-faire capitalism on steroids is unsustainable. Keynesian economics helped bail out Ronald Reagan. The fool Reagan cutting the taxes from 70 to 28% for the top rate, a deficit followed after that. It was House Democrats that helped save Ronald Reagan's presidency and produce higher growth by passing tax increases to help pay for this disastrous deficit that Reagan and the Republicans passed in the first place. So Rand Paul, you are not practical at all. That is your main weakness. Libertarianism is a failed ideology. The most practical solution is a mix of socialism and capitalism. We need a mixed economy, but yes, Rand Paul brings people together on some issues that is evident in his life path of 9. He can bring Democrats together on issues such as the drug war or the military-industrial complex in our overseas empire. So Rand Paul, he is a utopian. He believes in the failed libertarian utopia. It's not tax breaks for the wealthy that grows our economy. If there is no increase in aggregate demand, then a tax break will do nothing. What creates jobs is when demand is currently being unmet by the business. That is the only time that they hire. The best way to facilitate consumer spending is to give the middle class tax breaks and to help put them on their feet with social services that help them. So you have great compassion and idealism. He's an ideologue. You are a utopian, the Libertarian Utopia. You'll spend your life trying to realize some aspect of your utopian dream, such as libertarianism, sacrificing money, time, and energy for a better world. It is in giving that you will find much satisfaction. You have a broad outlook on life. You tend to see the big picture rather than the minute details. You naturally attract people from all walks of life, including some Democrats who can fit into your larger plans and take over the areas you find uninteresting. The person with the 9 life path is rarely prejudiced or accepts social biases of people. Rand Paul is not part of the racist bigots of the grand old party. Instead, they evaluate people on the basis of what they can do for the larger cause. They are the true egalitarian. Imaginative, creative, especially at harmoniously arranging the beauty around already potential in the environment. These abilities can lead you into such fields such as interior decorating, landscape art, and photography. But because you're strong social consciousness, you can be an effective politician, right? Rand Paul, the senator of Kentucky, the GOP star, lawyer, judge, minister, teacher, healer. Rand Paul's a family doctor. This is where he gets his compassion for people from, wanting to at least try to reform our healthcare system, import cheaper drugs into America, these kind of things that Rand Paul supports. Rand Paul did go to Haiti. I do not know much about Haiti, but Rand Paul's been helping people in some places over there. He helped the people over there. Okay, this is the wrong article. I'll take that back. Okay, yes. Okay, Rand Paul. He had a medical mission trip there. He helped some people out. I'll post that into my description. That's where he gets compassion from in his life path number. So Rand Paul, if you want to be president one day, time to abandon libertarianism and be a little bit more practical. If you can do that, then I'm confident about your chances in 2028. Hopefully you take my advice.